Now, when most people hear that a recession is coming on, or that there's very likely to be one in a short amount of time, they begin to panic. It's a natural human reaction, especially for people who lived through the massive economic downturn that happened within 2008. That was an incredibly painful time for many people throughout the United States, but especially for those that weren't prepared for it. In reality, for those that do prepare and take advantage of the downturn during an economic recession, it can be an incredible time of opportunity for the period that follows it. And the period that we're currently living in may lead to one of the most polarizing depressions since 2008, or maybe even since the Great Depression itself. And with this recession, if you play your cards right, you may be able to multiply your wealth 10 or even 20-fold. And in this video, we'll introduce you to the methods that you can use to accomplish that goal. All investments involve risk, especially during a recession. But if you're resistant to that risk, and if you're ready to continually invest money with a nearly guaranteed eventual return, then this recession is an effective goldmine for the taking. What is a recession? In order to quantify whether or not the United States is currently in a recession, you first have to know what a recession is. Traditionally, a recession is when there are 2 consecutive quarters with a drop in GDP within a country. The US technically entered a recession within summer of 2022, but it's more complicated than that as a whole. Despite the traditional recession that the country currently resides in, the economy has maintained strong employment and resilient corporate and personal spending, so we likely aren't at the bottom of the recession just yet. That makes this an excellent time to jump into various forms of investment strategies, because timing the market is a volatile and unpredictable thing that shouldn't be relied on. Now, if you DCA into certain things and average out your price, it'll be better in the long run than trying to time for the bottom. Recessions generally follow bear markets, and the United States stock market is currently in a bear market, which is defined as a 20% or more decline from the all-time highs of the market as a whole. We're currently far past that 20% and are in a very solid bear market, which many long-term investors refer to as a discount sale. Recessions aren't inherently a bad thing. Biden has even commented that his plan to fight against inflation is a recession, meaning that they will do very little to stop it in order to let the economy even out and stabilize to a less inflated point. 75% of Fortune 500 CEOs have said that they're bracing for a recession, so at this point, it's all but guaranteed for the market to bottom out eventually. Recessions are not a bad thing because they're a natural part of how the economy works. The economy experiences a term of growth, which is followed by a period of correction or recession, and then followed by another period of growth. During this period of correction, the overbloated prices on goods, assets and investments reset, meaning that these things can be bought for a massive discount and be allowed to grow in a price once again when the market enters a period of growth. The most common example of these things are stocks, golds, commodities, real estate and other such bloated markets. Recessions also present an opportunity for new companies to enter the space and begin to flourish, as after a recession there has historically always been a long period of growth. Therefore, if you've invested accordingly during a recession and then the bull market hits afterwards, your assets will balloon very quickly and your personal wealth will skyrocket. Government and investment. There is a fine balance between allowing a recession to occur and making sure the citizens of a country are still able to survive, and so the US government has to be incredibly careful when moving around recessionary periods. Currently, the government is attempting to fight the inflation caused by the overprinting of money by raising interest rates, which makes it harder to borrow money and therefore leads to less spending and then a soft recession. Although we're not financial advisors and our advice shouldn't be taken as gospel, with the research done over time and with the precedent set by other recessions, there are a few things that are expected to happen over the next couple of months or years as the recession sets in. There will be a decrease in the overall price of stocks, real estate, commodities, and overall a consolidation of prices across the board. This will be a good thing because it means the prices of food, gasoline, and other such necessary items will go down in order to allow people to actually purchase them with the limited money they have during the recession. Now, one of the best things that can be done during a recessionary period is starting a cash-flowing business if you don't have one already. Starting a business that provides income for you is imperative, and you need to begin saving as much of that income as you possibly can. You can also do this with a job by setting aside a portion of your income to save, but recessions can lead to layoffs, so it's not the safest option to save money. Having your own business is the best way to do this, because the best way to never get fired is to be your own boss. Build up as much cash as possible so that you can start DCAing or dollar cost averaging into whatever sectors you see fit. If you're able to make friends with people who have been through recessions and understand the complexities, that'll help you a lot in the long run. You also want to cut your discretionary spending as much as possible in order to funnel as much money as you possibly can into your economic portfolio, because recessions don't come around all that often. This is a period that you're aware of and that you can take advantage of today, because even if you only have a couple of grand to your name, being able to invest that during today's market and watch it grow during the following bull market is incredibly important for your personal wealth. The hyper-wealthy millionaires and billionaires often say that wealth is built during recessions, and that is absolutely the case. Buying into things when they're cheap and then watching them become expensive is the best way to balloon your wealth multiple times over. On average, recessions last between 8 months and 4 years, with most being between 1 and 3 years long. That means we've been in a recession for almost a year now, and the best time to begin dollar cost averaging is right now. Begin putting as much money as you can per week into whatever sector you've chosen, with probably the most passive and safe being full market ETFs like VTI, SCHD, and other such promising funds. The worst thing that you can do during a recession is panic sell when your stock prices are low. Just remember that as long as you have not sold, you've not lost your money yet. As soon as you do sell, you've crystallized those losses and pulled out before the market could really balloon in size. The best thing you can do is periodically invest, generally every week or 2 weeks when you get paid, and hold on. Don't sell out, don't panic due to losses, just hold on to your assets and wait for the bull market that follows. Now, if you're interested in starting your own business during this recession, then there are a couple of key aspects that you're going to want to make sure it has in order for it to survive. You want it to be highly scalable, primarily online, and essential to other businesses for them to survive. The best way to be essential to other businesses is to make them money, and therefore a service-based agency that is centered around one skill is one of the best types of businesses to start right now. Freelancing jobs that make other people's lives easier or make businesses more money are also incredibly lucrative during a recession, as full-time employees require more investment than hiring a freelancer for certain tasks. It's actually much easier to start a business during a recession, because during a downturn it's easier to hire talent, suppliers are more negotiable, and it's generally cheaper to borrow money by the end of it. Bad businesses will go out of business and there's less competition overall because of that. And this gives room for new good businesses to thrive. Overall, this recession can be an incredibly lucrative opportunity, and if you're able to prepare during it for the market that will follow, you can very reliably increase your personal wealth by a huge margin. Although we aren't financial advisors, historically the best way to do this would be to DCA into reputable cryptocurrencies, stocks and real estate if you have the funds for it. Investing is generally boring, and it's okay to be boring because it's the safest way to play. A simple, easy ETF-focused portfolio is a great way to DCA into the stock market without having to do exceptional amounts of research. Again, this isn't financial advice, but my current portfolio consists of 40% VTI, 40% SCHD, and 20% JEPI. Your mileage will vary depending on age and economic status, so make sure you research what is best for you and you'll be able to make an enormous amount of money over the course of the recession. Thanks so much for watching. Now, if you like the content that we produce, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're notified about any content we put out to help you understand this wild world around us. Leave a comment down below about how you're going to be investing during this recession, and we'll check out your ideas about how to make money. Thanks a ton, and we'll see you in the next one.